Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. I hope everything's working. Is the mic working? If anyone's here, just give me some feedback. All right. I've got a really bad backdrop here. It's like a brick wall, tiled wall. Don't know how my mic is. So, and I'm like crouching forward because I'm on a low table. It's the only place I could find where there was quiet. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Anyway, welcome. So, what's going on with crypto? What's going on with the markets? Just wait a little bit longer. There's a few people joining. Welcome. Feel free to say hi. I've got my coffee. I'll be looking over this way a little bit because my second screen is here. So if I look this way, don't think I'm talking to someone. I'm just looking at my side screen. All right, so welcome to my live stream. I haven't streamed in a while. I've been traveling a little bit and traveling like a boss. When was the last time I streamed? That's the question. I'm just making sure my live stream is working. Sorry, I don't know if it is. It's my oh yeah, it is. I can see the link. Perfect. Live. 2 weeks ago, it says, according to this. 2 weeks ago is my live stream. Let's have a look. I like to go back and have a look at previous streams to see what I was saying. When was the last one? Here it is. See, streamed 2 weeks ago, 90 views. Oh, that's pretty good for me. What does it say? 31st of October, Halloween. Oh, I remember. I was in Colombia, in Bogota, just about to go to the jungle. And it's been a while now. What's the date today? It's the 18th of November. Oh my God. So I have literally not streamed in just under 3 weeks. Oops, sorry. I've been meaning to, but it takes a little bit of energy to stream, and my energy's been focused elsewhere. I just wonder if my white mic is good enough. I'm just going to try and increase the gain a little bit. I like to talk into the mic because the sound quality is a little bit better. So that's why I'm kind of leaning forward. Anyway, so I really haven't got a clue what I talked about in my last stream. Let me kind of, where were we? That's kind of what I was imagining for us to go down. And then obviously to go up, it needs to go up and then back test. Let's have a look. Kind of like that. See where we were? I don't know if you can see that. Let me expand it a little bit. Is that fail me? Oh, I don't want to see. That's kind of where we were looking at. So I was kind of imagining a down, huh? You see that? I was kind of contemplating a further push down. And the problem with when the markets drop is that altcoins get annihilated. So Bitcoin is very much in control. I was looking at QANX, kind of going sideways. And then let's have a look at this. I was looking at some patterns. And then I kind of went on into TRVL. Let me have a look at TRVL. Well, I didn't really look at the charts much on TRVL. So I'll kind of have to have a look. Oh yeah, I was talking about a Fibonacci time pivot on the 15th of December. You see that? So, all right, so I kind of am refreshed on where I was. Let's go to the Bitcoin charts now. Let's get rid of that. Oh, there's a few viewers here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to look at Bitcoin, then I'm going to look at QANX, and then I'm going to look at TRVL and D-Travel at the end. So if you've just joined me, you haven't started yet, I'm about to start. And obviously you can catch up with this live stream. You can rewind it. And then I'm going to cut it into some streams for later. Yeah, it's messy, huh? My charts are messy. Shit. I'm going to have to clean them up. I literally haven't looked at my charts. Can you believe that? Let me just get rid of this. So this, let's get rid of these. Let's just get rid of all of it actually. Let's just delete. What's that one? Get rid of that now. I have to have a look at that long because obviously that didn't play out. And the reason why is because there was no swing failure of this pivot. So we can have a look at that. The levels. Wow, that weekly level held for a little bit and then we lost it. So I'm going to have to redraw those. I'm going to have to look at the volume levels. Oh, this is interesting. Look at that. Okay. Let me get rid of these. Single prints. Get rid of these. That's all old stuff now, so we can get rid of those. All of that is irrelevant. Irrelevant. NPOX. All right, that's quite good. AW corrective. All right. So first things first, let's look at the volume. Whereabouts is this range? If you have any questions, just feel free to spam it in the chat. I'm kind of looking, I can see, and I'm happy to answer questions or just have a chat. I'm going to pull the volume now. Okay. The point of control has moved down a little bit. Got the value area high, value area low. Looks like we've lost the value area low here. Filled some gaps. There were some gaps here. We filled them. A couple of high volume nodes. Point of control. Value area low. Value area high. Excuse me. Interesting, huh? Interesting. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to pull out slightly higher time frame volume. That's interesting as well. Let's get rid of this. Let's draw some fibs. Oh wow, look at that. We're coming into the golden pocket and we're getting a reaction. It looks like a reaction off the golden pocket right now. Can you see that? That's quite interesting. Let me just change that to the golden pocket so you can see. And what I'm also going to do is just draw kind of a much higher time frame fib pull from that pivot low to the all-time high. 69k, huh? 69k. Really strong support. Wow. Interesting. What the hell did that go? Just trying to organize this. 69k. Let's hide that now. All right, let's just focus on the local volume for a second. Got the fibs, got the volume. Okay. We've lost that. Okay. Let's look at the levels now. So going to the monthly chart. That was a pretty bearish monthly candle. Swing failure of the all-time high. Close underneath the 50 fib. Took the liquidity. And then this month we're seeing a nice sell-off. At the moment it's decreasing volume, decreasing prices. So it's a pretty low, relatively low volume sell-off. So it looks like it's overselling at the moment. Let's have a look. The indicators, all right, nothing there. Where's my levels? Craft Calf, welcome. I don't know why it's printing twice on my social stream. It's so annoying. Hi Amir, how are you? Hi Amir, how are you? So if you say something once, I'm getting it twice. I'm pretty good, huh? I'm in Panama City, live in Panama City. Can you believe it? I'm returning to London tomorrow. I'm flying back to London. It's going to be my birthday soon, and probably I'll be there for Christmas as well. So I'm kind of excited to go back, see my family, and I don't know. It'd be a nice change. But it's been amazing here in Central South America. I've been traveling, experiencing and meeting new people. Met a lot of really cool people, interesting people, networking. Yeah, I'm really good. Just got back from the Amazon jungle. I'll show you some pictures if you hang around long enough. I'll share some pictures when I start doing TRVL right at the end of the stream. Let's see a pretty miserable sell-off, aren't we? We've got a monthly level. We've got that's fine. There's a new monthly level up there. I'm gonna update that. Happy birthday! Not yet. Give me. I'm still not there yet. What is it? The 18th of Feb. Sorry, 18th of November. So just over just 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks away from now. 3 weeks. Yes, I'm a Sagittarius. That means we love to travel. De-travel. Moscow is watching Panama City. Yes, it is. Welcome, mate. Riolo Loy. Happy birthday. Yeah. Nice to have you guys. Welcome. It's always good to see people, chat to people. So let me just continue with this. I don't want to waste too much time over chatting. I like to chat, but that's the monthly level. Wash, we can get rid of that. We've got our monthly levels. Let's look at the weekly levels. Weekly, weekly, weekly there. That's correct. These levels are correct. Let's have a look at the daily levels. Let's just update these. 1, 2, 3. That's correct. That's correct. That one's washed now. That's washed. So what's the next one? Washed, washed. It's all the way down there. All right. Get rid of that. So that's our kind of liquidity levels now. Pretty brutal sell-off, huh? Look at that. Red, 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 red. It's looking miserable, huh? Looking pretty ugly, huh? I think people are like, the bear market has started. It's possible. Everything's possible in the markets. Everything. Everything is possible. Let's have a look at this 3-month candle where we're at. Mega sell-off. Look at that. That's like a failed auction. Swing failure of the all-time high, and then sell, 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 sell. But we are coming to big kind of areas of liquidity. So this is kind of, we're coming to the areas where the price should find support. So that's interesting. Let's have a look at the 6-month. Massive rejection. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. And then the yearly candle, look at that. Ah, the yearly candle was looking really miserable, huh? Really miserable. Could it end in a doji, huh? Even if it's doji, it's pretty miserable. A red doji, green doji could be pretty miserable this year. We have to see. We have to see how this candle forms on this yearly candle. All right. Let's have a look at the order flow on EXO charts. Oh, that's interesting, huh? We're getting really bullish divergences here on the order flow. You see how the CVD is going down and the price is actually going up? That's really bullish. You see that? See, the CVD is, it put in a new low here, and the price is actually put in a higher low. The price is above the VWAP. It's above the daily open. It's actually quite bullish right now with the price. We've got all these liquidation bubbles on the way down. Liquidation, 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 liquidation. Lots of liquidations. I haven't really looked at this in almost 3 weeks. Let me zoom out and go to the 4-hour time frame. If my EXO chart works. Yo, look at that. EXO chart is working. So on the medium time frame, there's no real divergence between the CVD and the price action. I mean, you can zoom out, you can go as far as you want, but the reality is I can't see anything interesting. Let's go and have a look at some other things. Let's have a look at the NPOX. There's a naked point of control there. 104. Now I'm going to write this into chat. Shit. Daily naked. These are the daily naked points of control. Their liquidity levels if the price comes back up to that level. 104,940. Anything higher? Oh, there's one higher. 107,480. Oh, there's a bunch there. Look at that. 112,980. 114, 100, 11400. Probably. Oh, shit. What did I do? Didn't mean to do that. All right. Let's go to the weekly time frame. We have a naked weekly point of control. Let's mark that in. Nine six. 400. Monthly. Oh, there's missing data here. I don't know where it is. Look at that. Let me try and refresh that. Yeah, missing data on October. I have no idea where the point of control is here. There's a point of control up there, 111669. 111669. Let me put them in. Let me put those in. Let me clear it up. Okay. It's cleared now. These are cleared. Where are those? Where are those weeklies? Dailies. So the weekly was 96400. And dailies were let me mark these dailies in. $104,940. $107,480. Hey, buddy. About everything with Martyr. How's it going, mate? Nice to see you. It's always good to see new people, or old people in that matter. Martyr. Let me just mark these in. 112,980. Last one, 114,100. All right, so I've got all the levels. Let's just put it all back in. I haven't looked at the single prints, sir. Let me try and look at the single prints. I always struggle with the single prints because ExoChart is a lag fest. Let me try. There. SP. See that? Can I see it? Can I see it? Probably that's the biggest one there. There's some here. Way down. SP. You see that single print? There's 2 blocks of single prints. I'm going to mark them down. Best believe. That's funny. Right, 97459 to 98598. And then here you can see single prints 92803 to 93649 646 9364. Sorry, stop. Sorry, my bad. 92265 to 93465. That's better. Be ready, player one. What do you mean by that? Greatness is coming. Yes, we are great. You're great. Shit, I wish I could get this double text off this stupid thing. Let me just try and reset it. Hold on. It's a bit annoying. I reset it. Let me see if that works. All right, let me put the single prints back in. Am I on the right page? Single prints. Nine 2265. We're above it now. We're in the single prints to 93465. So we're in those. There's some higher up. 97459 to 98598. All right, I have everything I need to just do a pretty straightforward analysis of the charts. It's always important to update your data, volume, fibs, liquidity levels, and naked points of control, and zero volume areas, single prints. Once you do that, you can chuck it all back in. So look at the volume, liquidity levels, single prints, put them back in, naked points of control, got the fib. Let's put all the levels in, actually. Full fib. Okay, so that is our liquidity. I'll go to zoom out to the 3-day chart. That's our liquidity levels. And right now we're just bouncing off, very simply, the golden pocket, which is an area from the 618 just below to the 66. It's like an area where traders find the best risk to reward, but that's it. There's nothing really there. The stronger level is much lower down here. You see that? You see where you've got all these levels? You've got naked daily point of control, naked weekly point of control, naked monthly point of control, naked daily point of control. You've got a 786 fib, then you've got a monthly level. You've got a big area of liquidity here. See that? You've got a big area of liquidity here. And then on the way up, you've got a lot of liquidity, but it's kind of spread out with the biggest one right at the top. Biggest one is right at the top, and then the rest is just kind of all spread out. So what does that mean? It means we're in for a choppy ride. That's probably what it means. Sometimes when you get like areas of low liquidity where it's all black. When the price moves, it can move quite fast. And so naturally you can see where there's black, the price just moves, it slips because there's lower liquidity. When the market moves, it moves in the same direction usually. And then when there's low liquidity, the price moves very fast. And so right now we've dropped quite fast. Drop and then drop. So we had the first initial drop. Then we had a kind of a little bearish consolidation and another drop and then another drop. We're kind of dropping. But now we're coming into the golden pocket. We're at this value area low area. You see that? The value area low. And that's actually good because this is, if we're going to find support, this is a good place to find support. But the price has been coming down so fast, you kind of have to let the price settle, find support, consolidate before it has an attempt to go up. The structure, the market structure on... I'm just looking at the market structure. It looks like it's bearish market structure at the moment. Lower highs, you can see it. The structure is bearish. We're putting in lower highs. We're putting in lower lows. See that? And that has to change. The market's not going to go up until this changes. You need a market structure change from bearish to bullish. And right now it's bearish. It's very obviously bearish. I mean, if you zoom out, you could argue that on the monthly time frame it's bullish because we've put in a higher low and, you know, higher high. Higher low, higher high. Maybe this is a lower low, lower high. There could be a change to bearish, actually. It looks like it wants to try and change. On this drop, I can see that there's decreasing. Look at these red candles. It's decreasing, isn't it? Decreasing volume, decreasing prices. That's not as bearish as it could be. Yeah, if the volume was increasing and the price was decreasing, then it'd be really bearish. But right now we're getting a kind of a low volume or decreasing volume fall in price, so it's not as bearish as you think. RSI is all the way down to the lows. The last time we were at the lows, it was a good place to buy, huh? These are the good places to buy when the RSI is really low. The MACD, let's have a look at it. I mean, on a higher time frame, let me just kind of hide these now and get those out the way. On a higher time frame, the MACD for me is looking like bullish divergence. You can see we have the MACD is going lower than the previous low here. See, it's gone lower, and the price hasn't gone lower, so that's indicating absorption on a higher time frame, so weekly time frame. And the CCI is in crazy oversold. Look at that, -255. When was the last time we were at -255 on the CCI on a weekly time frame? Really never. Not on these charts. So we're in the most oversold CCI on Bybit's perpetual contract history. The last time we were down that low here, that was around 25,000. That was as the bear market was ending. Last time in the bull market we were that low. Look, we were here. Look where the price was. And here, look where the price was. So what you have to imagine is that, look, every time the CCI is low, the price is really bottoming. Does that make sense? It's a clear pattern, yeah, where the CCI goes down and the price is actually bottoming. Now, it doesn't mean it can't continue going down, but usually when that happens, you get a lower high at the very least. You see that? Or a rally. And so I do think we're probably in for a rally. See that? Look how low that was. And here, this was an anomaly. That was a COVID crash. And look how oversold. We're really oversold. BTC is oversold. So I kind of feel like there is a bear trap in formation. I think a lot of people think the bear market started. Maybe it has. We've lost the key trend line. It's obvious. Something like that. Something like that. See that? Now, this is the question. What happens next? Well, I think selling is a bad idea. And when I was looking at the fear greed index, excuse me, 15, 15 is good. 15 is extreme fear. 15 is actually, it's so low. That's like the best time to buy when when we're in extreme fear. Really good time to buy extreme fear. Yeah. Good place, good time. That's kind of where you want to start accumulating fear. You accumulate fear, you sell greed. That's kind of how it works. So if you're afraid, or if the markets are afraid, it's probably a good time to buy. Let's have a look at this one. This one's on 11. Extreme fear. Look at that. So look at this chart. February, 27th February, we went down to 10. 10th of April, we went down to 39. So 10. Let's have a look at 27th of February. February and April. Look, see this? We got to the lowest extreme fear here, February. Here, that was extreme fear 10. And then we went down, in April, it went down to 38. You see that? Those were the lows. And then we might be here in that kind of situation. There was a pump rallier to put in a lower high. It went back down to take the lows, lower high, lower low, and then pump, 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 pump. So I kind of wonder if we are somewhat repeating something like this with the drop already happening. And everyone thinks it's all over and this crypto's dead and whatever. It's not dead, huh? It's like all eyes are on crypto, all eyes are on Bitcoin, all eyes are on altcoins, the big ones especially. And when I was looking at the dominance chart, get rid of that. We've lost it, huh? We've lost this trend. The BTC dominance trend is lost. Maybe maybe we consolidate here for another drop in the future, like that. That's a likely scenario, just because of the way this is playing out. So for safety's sake, what's a safe time or place to enter the market for longing? You've got these outer trend lines. Initially that one, and then possibly a steeper one there. And the reality is that for the price to go up, it has to break these trend lines to the upside. And so Most people are like thinking, when's a good time to enter? Shall I enter? Is this the bottom? Shall I enter now? You could always dollar cost average, not financial advice, but you could always take entries and dollar cost average, or you can wait for a setup. The best setups are swing failures and signs of strength. And so right now we're not seeing a swing failure or any kind of real strength just yet. And so that's kind of the best place to wait. But we are in extreme fear, so it is kind of coming to the right place for a potential rally. But for a long-term swing kind of setup, you want these outer trend lines to break. Whatever happens, we need them to break. Initially this one, however it breaks, but really it's the outer one, this outer trend line. It needs to break, needs to test, and then it needs to resume to go up. That's what needs to happen. And actually you end up entering higher, but you're entering in safety with the strength of the market, with a turn of the market, a change of the market. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the absolute bottom of this kind of structure. You can just wait and be patient and just wait for that kind of situation where you get a break, you get a back test, some kind of horizontal or whatever back test, and then a resumption of the trend. And when the trend starts resuming, then the whole market piles in and then the price starts to go up. So it's kind of what you're waiting for, and I would argue that that's probably the safest place to wait. And then in terms of strength, like when you go back to the volume, we really need to reclaim this point of control. It's really important. You see the point of control is here. It's at the low of the range. We're at the value area low, so potentially a good place. But, you know, it is possible to go up, reject, and continue. It's possible, okay? And so ideally what we want is we want to kind of flip the point of control into support. Once that happens, that gives you safe entries. You can get safe entries because you have a definite invalidation, i.e. the point of control, which is flipped from a potential resistance level to a tested support level, okay? And so these are kind of signs that we're looking for, signs of strength. And so let me just kind of, with that in mind, let me just put my high time frame levels in place. They're quite far away. Right now we're kind of trying to fill these single prints. We filled the first lot, potentially. The first single prints here. Maybe the next one up there. Maybe we do get a liquidity grab for another low. It looks like the price could just kind of range here a little bit. For a break to the high. That's kind of what you want to see. And then how long is that going to take? No one knows. That would be kind of bullish to start changing the structure here. But the thing is, we've lost some key levels, and so we have to wait for those levels to return to support. So we don't really have that right now. What we're experiencing now are lower lows and lower highs. And what we want to see is a structural change. Lower lows. This could be the first higher high on a medium time frame, lower to medium time frame. You see that we're kind of trying to fill the single prints. We're trying to find support back off the value area. So there's some trading going on here. Scalping probably. The local market, all the flow is bullish. So it looks like it's a bullish kind of, maybe a bullish weekend, just because we've gone down so low. Weekend, when I say weekend, it's only Tuesday. Week, dare I say it, weekend. And then what happens next? Oof. It's always hard predicting the future, isn't it? I think whatever happens, we're probably looking for a back test wherever the pivot is. Yeah, we're looking for some kind of lower high. Let's just say that's the pivot there. I don't know where it's going to be. We are looking for a higher time frame. Lower high. If this is a bear market. And so in the bear market, you get lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And so right now we're in the lows. It's like the worst time to sell. This is where shorts get trapped. And looking at the monthly time frame. Look how much we've moved already. Look, the monthly candle has moved so much that you would never sell here. It's just too much, hasn't it? You're like catching the end of the move to the downside. You would never sell. And whatever happens, I think we're probably going to be ranging here for a little bit. Probably next month would be a next month ranging. Maybe the yearly candle ends. Then we get a pullback to go up, then down. Maybe we get another kind of crazy year. That's going to destroy our altcoins. That's the reality of it. The reality is that when Bitcoin is rejecting from highs, when Bitcoin is volatile, altcoins get annihilating. So a lot of people are in altcoins. They're thinking, let me just sell and get out of the market. It might be wise to do that, but then you don't want to sell at lost. And actually, it's probably better to accumulate with the pullback. It's probably better to accumulate with this opportunity to buy into like your favorite tokens for cheaper prices and be patient for the future, for higher prices in the future. It's like we're at fear 11 or whatever it was, 13, 14. It's not a good idea to sell that. It's better to buy the fear. That's kind of where my mind is at. We're coming into a monthly order block here. That's your monthly order block. This is where institutional investors will actually look to pick up Bitcoin once the price comes into the order block. The order block is technically the whole of this red candle. So we're actually into it now. Huh? We're into the monthly time frame order block. This is where bigger investors start to ladder in to this candle, to this red candle here. Yeah, so we're coming into the buy zone, not into the sell zone, the buy zone. So the market's already sold off. We're coming into the buy zone. And what you want to see now is you just want to see the price to find support. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the price to find support. We have a potential value area low. That's it. You kind of want to see a new level, like a new liquidity, like a new daily level form here. Maybe if today's candle is green, we'll form a new daily level here. Then you want to see a back test. But realistically, what we want is a reclaim. Probably the nearest daily level. It's been washed already because the price dropped. That level was, the liquidity at that level was hit. That's it there. Just mark it out. It's been washed of its liquidity, but realistically speaking, we want to see this area flip into support. Otherwise, the price is going to be choppy. Flip that area into support, whatever. Then you get good setups for longing. So you're kind of looking for like 96, basically that point of control to flip into support. That's really what you want to see next. Really. Break these trend lines. And then have a really sharp move up and see what happens next. Could we get a V-shaped recovery, or are we just going to end up with another rejection? So high low, but lower high, and then down we go again. So we're kind of in that phase of the market. We're in that phase of the market where right now we're coming to an area where the price could find support just because of the golden pocket. There's no clear setups here, huh? Nothing obvious. You've got that previous pivot low here. Reclaim that. Then that would be a really important sign of strength. It's higher up, huh? Could we go down for another test? Possible. So wherever, like if you're looking to long this, you're basically, what you're looking for is you're looking for some kind of ABC, which is what we're getting now, like an ABC. Then you're looking for a local retrace wherever this pivot goes. Don't know how high this is going to go. Looking for a local retrace back to the golden pocket. However that happens. Clean these lows. And then another pump to the upside type thing. That's kind of what you're looking for. A pivot to be put in here. Or higher. Back trace to the golden pocket. Clean up these lows, and then that will be the kind of entry that you're looking for, if possible. And the reaction of the golden pocket, and then all the way up to something like that. Otherwise, in reverse. And these like shorts right now are like a little bit scalpish. It'll be the golden pocket again. It'll be like a rejection. Waiting for a reaction, rejection, and just taking it down to the type thing. It's kind of what you're looking at in the short term, and in the higher time frame, in the long term. Let me just. On a higher time frame, what you're looking for, like I said, you're looking for these trend lines to break. Probably looking for this month to end, to be honest with you. So probably on a higher time frame, you're looking for the month end. And then it'll be a lot easier because longing here, it's like, where's your stop? Where's your invalidation? Month ends, then you have a previous month lows. You know, you have areas of interest where you could put invalidations. And possibly because it's a large red candle, you could get. That was the last large monthly red candle we had. And look what happened the next month. It was like a sweep of the lows, a sweep of the 50 fib, a doji. You know, like that's kind of what we're looking for. And so possibly we do see a December just like that candle there next month after this November candle forms. It's probably best to wait for the end of the month. Probably anyone who's looking to know when a good time is, probably the beginning of the month. See what happens if you get another sweep of the lows here like this. And then the next month could be a January. It could be another formation like this, to be honest with you. 1, 2, like a red doji after that's December, and then a green. Or you could quite simply see a crazy bear trap where the price just gets brought back up and you get like some kind of crazy engulfing. It's always possible. And a large portion of what happens next has got to do with the macro, the fundamentals, America, Trump, interest rates, and shit like that. I don't know why the price is falling. I have no reason apart from the technicals, which was a massive swing failure with big volume of the all-time high with a bearish candle, like a reversal there. That's really technically what was happening, which is kind of why 3 weeks ago, when you look at my stream, I was thinking down, wasn't I? I was thinking down. I had that short set up. Remember that? See that? I was thinking down, down, down. I was thinking you could only go up if we had a sign of strength, which was a reclaim of that high volume node, which never happened. I was actually thinking down. When I kind of analyzed 3 weeks ago, the price is at 110. Kind of what you're targeting. That's kind of Bitcoin. We need a place. This is not a sign of strength just yet. The sign of strength would be divergence on the pullback, of reflipping levels, lost levels into support. Okay, so at the moment, because we've pushed down so much, the levels haven't formed yet. This is kind of what you need to do, is wait for the range to form. And right now, we're not range bound in a sense that it's a massive range, but the price has been dare I say rallying, it's been selling off to the downside, hasn't it? That is having a massive impact on other tokens. So let's just have a look at ETH BTC. ETH BTC hit the point of control. That's the buy of the lifetime there, this golden pocket. I don't see ETH BTC crazy selling off, to be honest with you. It's just like a real gentle correction, ETH BTC. Very different to before. You had your kind of wave, 5-wave rally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is kind of a corrective move. Maybe not as bad as people think. I showed you on ETH that this was a bearish harmonic. See that? And it's playing out. It's playing out, but it's not really selling off, is it? It's just correcting. Let's have a look at the SPX. Yeah. And it's partly to do with the SPX. You see it put another all-time high, lower high, and then it's been sold off. And so there's obviously a clear correlation between the SPX and the rest of risk on assets. The Russell 2000. There you go. You see that? It put in a higher high, all-time high, immediate rejection. There was no breakout. But that, on the Russell 2000, is a V. That's a V. With a failed auction of the highs. If it's if it's the proper V-shaped recovery, then you're looking for the Russell 2000 to find support off the 50 fib. But we've got this point of control in the way, huh? You see that? So we're above the value area, just above the value area high, and got the point of Russell 2000 could easily find support there. Now you lose that point of control, yeah, you're probably heading down. All right, so that's kind of BTC. I kind of need to look at it a bit more. I'll probably stream again for the charts on Friday. I'll be back in London on Friday, so I'll be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more time to look at the charts and kind of do more analysis, spend time looking at the price action. I haven't done that, so this is just off the bat. I'm going to move on now quickly to QANX. So I haven't done the QANX update as well in a period of time. Yeah. What can I say? It looks stronger still, considering the rest of the market is selling off like there's no tomorrow. That was my crazy PA. It's kind of trying to do it, isn't it? I'm trying. I don't like to try it. I don't like to predict the future, but you got a big level there, huh? I'm kind of like right now, I'm just looking at it, I'm thinking, are we coming into this area where the price should find support? Let's have a look at the volume. And this has got nothing to do with QANX. This has got everything to do with Bitcoin. Yeah. The markets are shaken by that rejection. There's no real changes in the volume, a little bit lower value area low. No real changes. Yeah, we've got coming into liquidity levels. If the price was to capture these lows, that would be like an amazing entry right down at 2 cents. And then I'd like to see a pump, a crazy rally. I'd still like to see that. I haven't really looked at the X page. Let me have a look. I'd say QANX is a good one to accumulate. Coming into 2 cents. How cheap is that? Really cheap. Why can't I find that? There it is. Let's have a look at the X page. November the 14th. Quantum's closing in and MasterCard just sounded the alarm. just generic news. Last week, Quantinuum delivered Helios, the world's most accurate commercial quantum computer with 98 fully connected barium ion qubits and gate fidelities near perfection for a single qubit. Oh my god. This machine doesn't just inch towards quantum advantage, it leaps forward, achieving complex simulations that classical supercomputers could only match with the energy of every star in the universe, while Helios uses the power of a single data center rack. So it looks like quantum computing is progressing, huh? And they still haven't launched their mainnet. I can't see anything here about the mainnet yet. October recap. Let's have a look at that. All right. Last month saw significant developments. We traveled to 2 major blockchain conferences to connect with crypto professionals from around the globe and secure key infrastructure and ecosystem partners. We fine-tuned QANX Link and became members of Blockchain for Europe, a leading association advocating for the adoption of blockchain technology across the European Union. And you can read that there. Let's have a look at these candles. I'm not feeling bearish. Huh? I'm looking at these and I'm just thinking we're getting a first, filling this wick on the 6-month candle. We're just going down to the yearly candle, coming into the wick. I think everything's got to do with the rest of the market. We're coming to test these lows. Do we take the lows or not? It's possible. If we take the lows, then what you want is a pump rally to follow with a swing failure. That would coincide with that crazy PA that I drew out. Don't know where it is. Wherever it was. That one. So we're still seeing accumulation, aren't we? It's accumulation, accumulation, accumulation. We do get some kind of pumps, lower highs, reaccumulate, pump, lower high, reaccumulate, pump, lower high, reaccumulate. That's exactly the pattern that we're experiencing. These are the pumps. For whatever reason, Bitcoin is pumping and then people sell into that and then they reaccumulate. And this is why you get this kind of reaccumulation. That's what we're experiencing now, reaccumulation. Yeah. So I think it looks good. The chart, for me, the charts look pretty good. They don't look bad at all. I mean, we've had, look, red 3-month candle, red 3-month candle, red 3-month candle. Is this going to be another red? Those are the candles you buy. You buy these red higher time frame candles because then you get the crazy pumps. Those are the opportunities. These are the opportunity candles. You don't buy it when it's already at the highs. You buy it when it's pulling back at the lows. Assuming the project is still good. I mean, it just looks like we're kind of forming some kind of like that, isn't it? some kind of downward channel. What happens next? Do we take these lows? And go up? These are largely to do with Bitcoin, huh? Right now, all these projects are going to get trampled on just because of Bitcoin. So again, the charts don't look bad. They look like accumulation. Nothing's really changed. It's just accumulation. The markets are a bit fragile right now, and people are a little bit scared. And if you think that we're at Tier 11 across the crypto markets, and QANX is still quite good, huh? It's still good. If you look at this range, look, we've been range bound. We've been in this range for however many long time. Bitcoin is at extreme fear, and look where we are. We're just at the bottom of the range. Yeah. Now, does that mean this is going to go to the moon? Not necessarily. But I think, again, the anticipation is the mainnet. That's what's kept this project so strong, this anticipation of the mainnet. Everyone's waiting for the mainnet. And hopefully the Quan platform team are going to launch it when Bitcoin actually does find its bottom, wherever its bottom is. So they're smart enough to build a quantum resistant blockchain. They're smart enough to time the mainnet launch with Bitcoin's mega pump rally to the moon. That's what we're hoping. I can see the volume is relatively low. The whole thing is decreasing volume, isn't it? Last week was pretty miserable. Closed lower, so this is quite bearish. We're coming into these liquidity levels here. All right, so I'll continue doing QANX. Sorry, guys, I was away in the Amazon jungle, and then I came back and I was exhausted. And so I haven't been able to stream in a few weeks, like nearly 3 weeks. I'm going to continue streaming on Fridays, so my next stream will be this week on Friday. I'll spend a little bit more time on QANX when I get back to London, and I'll try and kind of do some different things and try and look for some more insight rather than just basic it's going sideways or accumulate or buy. I'll try and see if there's anything else going on, but this is quite bearish last week, increasing volume on the last 2 weeks, decreasing prices. So we're at the lows. It's a good opportunity, but it's also, I can't see a reversal just yet. If you do get a reversal, usually the price kind of settles for a few weeks. You see that? At least a couple of weeks. At least a couple of weeks with some buying tails. We're not seeing that just yet. So it might be still a little bit early if you're looking for the golden entry, the golden mega entry. And I still think it's possible. As I've always said, hold on, what was that one? There, look at that. Something like that. That's still possible. Sometime in December to put in a low and then spring up to go higher. I think that's still possible. It's still on the table. Okay? So just keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on it together. We're almost there, possibly. Let's see what happens. All right? If there's any questions, just feel free to throw them in underneath my YouTube video, which I'll post on my X page. Yeah, and thanks for your support. A like and a share is always appreciated. All right, I'm gonna look at TRVL and D-Travel and finish my stream. So there's big news, there's mega news, and there's also Oh, if my charts load, my charts aren't loading. Is there lag? My chart's not loading. There you go. Oh, crazy sell-off. What can I say? Is for me, that's obviously, I feel a little bit sad, but at the same time, I've got breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. What's the breaking news? Well, first and foremost, if you haven't joined me, I've been traveling to El Salvador, Central America, South America, on behest of D-Travel, pushing and promoting D-Travel. And for a period of time, we were doing a good job, and then suddenly we hit this kind of crazy sell-off. What's going on with D-Travel? What's the latest? Well, let's have a look. Recently, and I want to say recently, extremely recently, if you go to the blog on the website, that's kind of where you find the latest news and updates. Look at this ecosystem, a new chapter for D-Travel, rebuilding travel around people, a note from D-Travel's new CEO, Eric Pace. And I've been talking about Eric, haven't I? So if you've been following me, you'll know that I've been talking about Eric. Where can I find him? That's Eric. That's me and Eric together. So Eric came to El Salvador. He's been to El Salvador twice now. The first time we hung out for 6 days. The second time he came with his family. We hung out for like over a week. And we've been talking about El Salvador. We've been talking about Central and South America. We've been talking about D-Travel. We've been talking about the changes in the future. And what we have now is what I've been talking about, which is the announcement. This was announced November the 13th of this month. Let's have a look at it. I'm going to read it out. So, a note from D-Travel's new CEO, Eric Pace. And this is him. When I first joined D-Travel years ago, I saw a team that believed travel could be rebuilt around people rather than platforms. That belief hasn't changed, but how we get there has. The first chapter of D-Travel started with crypto payments and the vision of a community-owned alternative to Airbnb. It was an ambitious start, but if we're honest, it still looked a lot like the thing we were trying to fix, i.e. he's saying that what we're trying to fix is Airbnb, but D-Travel looked like Airbnb. The next chapter begins with a harder question. What would travel look like if it truly served the people who make it possible? That's the question. What's broken? So here he's saying travel has lost its sense of ownership. So who owns travel right now? That's a question. The short-term rental industry has entered its institutional phase. What started as a renting spare rooms is now a $140 billion plus global asset class. Hosts feel trapped by platforms that take more than they give, and the extracted value results in higher prices for everyone. And I'm a host on Airbnb, and I can vouch for that. The prices have gone up. Airbnb is increasing their prices, and they're giving back less and less, other than fear. Faced with ever-increasing fees, travelers are often compelled to chase the best deals instead of forming meaningful connections. They're also sold loyalty programs with free perks that are actually funded by credit card fees and interest rates, which also extract value and increase travel prices for everyone. Locally created value is exported to distant shareholders rather than being shared with communities, especially the communities that serve travel in the areas which need it the most. So who is benefiting here? The big shareholders who are disconnected from the destinations and the communities which actually are the ones which are creating the experiences for the travelers. As the online travel industry has scaled, it has become increasingly disconnected from the people who actually create its magic and give travel its soul. That's the problem that we are here to solve, D-Travel. And I don't work for D-Travel, but I'm a long-term supporter, early adopter, call it what you want. I believe in decentralized travel, just the same way that the early adopters of Bitcoin believed in decentralized finance. Yeah. So that's the problem he's saying we're here to solve. And what we're building, this is what we're building. We're not trying to build another search engine or online travel agency. And so a lot of people will come onto the D-Travel website and think, what's going on? It looks like another search engine or another OTA. And it may initially feel like that, but what's happening, the changes are that we're no longer on that track. We've actually evolved, our vision and our ambitions have increased. We're no longer, our ambitions aren't let's take down Airbnb, but it's actually let's create something that's gonna overshadow the whole thing because it's better and it's more complete and it serves travel to them in a much more true way, in a more kind of pure way, so that the people who are serving the travelers benefit and the travelers actually benefit too. The industry doesn't need more of those. We're building a network that lets people own the value they create. That means giving hospitality operators the tools to grow independently, not under the platform's rules, helping travelers build lasting relationships with the places and people they discover, reinforcing the idea that loyalty is earned through trust and participation, not points and spend, enabling everyone with the opportunity to invest in their local travel economy. Across the world, we're already seeing this spirit take shape. Local networks of operators collaborating instead of competing, travelers choosing direct connections over algorithms. These early communities are showing us what the future of travel can look like when ownership becomes the foundation. How can we align incentives? For travel to work for people who make it possible, we must align incentives. The hotel industry has proven for decades that loyalty is key to driving profit and demand at scale. Brands like Marriott and Hilton drive billions in annual revenue through their closed loyalty programs. The short-term rental industry is now at a similar inflection point, but with one key difference. Short-term rentals are fundamentally decentralized and community-driven. This means a closed corporate loyalty program will never work at scale. We at D-Travel believe the solution is an open rewards layer. What does that mean? An open rewards layer that meaningfully incentivizes behavior and community participation rather than mere transactional benefits. This is how the short-term rental industry will grow beyond the platform-controlled system to a shared travel network. And here he goes on to explain. TRVL is the coordination and loyalty asset. That is the rewards layer, TRVL, the token. Okay, so the solution is an open rewards layer using TRVL as the asset to coordinate and to prove loyalty, or to give loyalty, to reward loyalty. That will incentivize thousands of localized micro networks connected through a unified travel layer. So it's quite technical, and I'll kind of try and explain. It will align operators, travelers, and owners around with shared success, enabling anyone to participate in the success of these local networks. Now, fundamentally, what he's saying is TRVL is the asset of value. That's what we're trying to do, to create TRVL, to make TRVL the asset of value. And that is why people will be incentivized because of TRVL. We're going to incentivize people by rewarding them in this kind of open rewards layer using TRVL as the coordination and loyalty asset. How is that going to happen? It can't happen now in the old method of doing it, trying to be an Airbnb competitor. But when we change the token economics, the tokenomics, then TRVL will be that coordination and loyalty asset, which will incentivize thousands of localized micro networks connected through this unified travel layer. So it's a little bit technical. It's kind of almost, you kind of have to read between the lines a little bit, but effectively we're changing it so that people will value TRVL, and that will incentivize them to bring their travel experiences, to bring their properties, to bring their travel, to use D-Travel to travel because of TRVL. That's what he's saying. He's saying that all eyes are going to be on TRVL. Yeah. In the same way that all eyes were on Bitcoin, what we want to do is make all eyes on TRVL. So it's no longer going to be like a shitty point system where most people aren't really bothered about. It will be fundamental and central to making this a success. TRVL. That's what he's saying. In not so many words, that's what he's saying. Yeah. And that's why he's put this in bold. Like, look, bold. The clue is in the bold text, isn't it? Someone's asking, please provide a target that TRVL can reach in this cycle. Okay. That will incentivize thousands of localized micro networks connect. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to incentivize these localized micro networks because of TRVL. And TRVL becomes that asset class, that royal asset class of coordination and loyalty, where people will now be thinking to themselves, okay, I need TRVL. How do I get TRVL? Because TRVL becomes extremely valuable. Okay, not just a sideshow. That's TRVL is going to become a sideshow. It's going to be central to what we're about to do, or what D-Travel is about to do. Okay, now he explains it. Why this matters. Travel is one of humanity's most basic expressions. It's how we learn, how we connect, how we remember who we are. When ownership disappears, travel becomes a commodity. See that? Recentering ownership restores meaning and purpose. It gives every participant a stake in the story they're helping to create. That's what drives Eric, him, me, he says, but Eric. And it's why I've stepped, not me, but Eric has stepped into the role of the CEO to bring this vision to life at scale. What's next? In the coming weeks, we will begin. So this is alpha, isn't it? He's basically giving you the clues. In the coming weeks, we will begin revealing the first pieces of this future. You'll see us unveil new ways for travelers and operators to participate in D-Travel, starting with programs that reward real travel behavior, strengthen local networks, and reinforce community contributions. We'll also be piloting a new ownership model. So this is quite interesting. We're piloting something new, something that people haven't heard of. Look. We'll also be piloting a new ownership model that hasn't existed in the travel industry before, starting first in destinations that demonstrate the clearest alignment between local operators, community leadership, and D-Travel's long-term vision. Our first initiative is underway in El Salvador. You heard it from me first. El Salvador. And we'll serve as the foundation for everything that follows. The future of travel won't belong to platforms. It will belong to people, hosts, explorers, communities, and to anyone who believes travel should feel meaningful, connected, and human again. If that vision speaks to you, stay close. This is a new chapter for D-Travel and the beginning of something bigger than us. Eric Pace, CEO, D-Travel. All right. So I'm trying to break it down. And effectively what he's saying is everything's changing because the future of travel won't belong to platforms. It belongs to people, hosts, explorers, and community. And that's how we grow D-Travel, by changing the way travel is rewarded and incentivizing hosts, explorers, communities, people to participate in the experiences that these people create, whether it's accommodation or other aspects of travel which they contribute to, and that's how they get rewarded, and that's the ecosystem that we're creating. It's so much bigger than an Airbnb killer. It will encompass everything to do with travel. And so when you go to right now, when you go to D-Travel, what do we have? Yeah, we have a very relatively small network. We have 6,008 listings online. We're in 140 countries, 1,279 cities. We have 10,885 operator sign-ups. And we've been seeing kind of really gradual growth. It's kind of tapering a little bit, but actually when you look at the total listings, it's nicely going up in a proportional kind of a very proportional line. It's not exponential, it's proportional, but it's very steady. It's not tapering, the listing. So we got growth, yeah, that this can, as time passes, this can just keep on going and going and going and going, and if we do nothing. Why? Because we actually have a really good product. You can actually just go there, and this is what he's talking about. This is kind of like where we initially began, trying to be the decentralized Airbnb, where people can go online, they can search for properties in different parts of the world, and they can click on the owner's website, and this is their website, even though D-Travel hosts it. You can click on their website, and then you can book their accommodation directly without paying third-party fees to Airbnb and Booking.com. So it makes it cheaper. It also creates a better experience, because now the travelers are directly in contact with the owners or the people who operate and manage the properties, and then these people are running their own businesses. It's not controlled and micromanaged and dominated by D-Travel. It's decentralized. Yes, what we've created is a decentralized network. And if you go to this link, dune.com/DTravel/DTravel-network-analytics, you can see the live stats. And these are live stats that are updated regularly. Okay, this is what we've created. It's actually the last update is 12 days ago. This is what we've created. This is taking a lot of time, yeah, a lot of time to create a physical real world network. And you have to remember the market's saturated with Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, and other kind of smaller platforms. And so what we've tried to do, what we've been able to do, is create a foothold in this market and grow a network, which is working. Yeah, I vouch to that. I've talked about myself a lot, and I'll talk about myself again. That's me. I'm an Airbnb superhost, 4.99 stars, 10 years hosting. Look at that, 189 reviews. I'm from London in the UK, so I've been doing this for a long time. These are my listings. Actually, this one's my sister's. I co-host that, and they're based in London, and you can just go online and book that on Airbnb. So I have a lot of experience, and I have a lot of reviews. And so I kind of know a little bit about this industry, and I've seen a lot of problems in this industry too. Ultimately, I've kind of just pushed through and just managed those problems, and there hasn't been a real alternative to compete. And therefore, what seems to be happening is that this monopoly, whether it's Airbnb or Booking.com, they totally control my business. So if they come to me and say something, and they have in the past, I have to comply, even though they may be wrong or I don't agree with it. A clear example of that was COVID-19, where I had a summer's worth of bookings, like maybe 20 or 30 plus, and I run a strict cancellation policy, and they cancelled all the bookings, and they gave me no remuneration. They gave me no compensation, and that wasn't allowed. So they changed the rules. And you can argue, well, it was COVID-19, the world was collapsing, but that's what insurance is for. And so rather than force the travelers to activate their insurance policies, they actually unfairly punished the hosts, and effectively they destroyed a lot of businesses in the process. And a lot of people like myself were left with a large period of uncertainty because the business doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Airbnb. This profile, this is their website. These reviews, they don't belong to me. It belongs to Airbnb. Yeah. And so therefore, if they say something, I have to do it. If you don't comply, you're cancelled. That's how it works. If you don't comply, you're removed. You're delisted, you're blocked, you're banned. And there's never a fair, just appeal system or arbitration where you can get a fair hearing. Yeah, because it's a business. It's a monopoly now. And I don't like that. I don't believe in that. I think this could have been decentralized. And that's kind of why I got involved with D-Travel. Okay, I got involved with D-Travel because I do believe in the idea of decentralizing travel. And so I've been kind of hosting my properties on D-Travel on my own website. I use my own domain name. It's easy to do. It's just costs the price of a domain name. It just links quite easily. And here you can just go to my own website. It's my business. I'm in control. People can contact me directly and they can just book an apartment directly with me. I pass on the savings. I'm not trying to make more money. I'm just trying to give travelers a better experience. I get a lot of repeat travelers like this. And here they can just check availability. They can look into the future, check my calendar. When this loads. Oh my God. Is it my computer or the internet? I hope it's not the internet. No, it looks like the internet's fine, so just refresh that. Probably my computer. Oh my God. Something's wrong with my computer. Oh, there you go. Let's have a look at February. You can click on reserve. So this is directly with me. It's not with Airbnb. This is with me. You can pay using a credit card. That's processed and cleared through Stripe. But there's fees which I just pass on. Google Pay, as you can see, or crypto no fees. And you can connect your wallet and you can pay with different options: USDT, USDC, Matic, TRVL to save 10%, ETH, and now recently Coinbase Bitcoin, which is a wrapped Bitcoin on Coinbase. And we're going to add Bitcoin on Lightning to this, and probably everything else, because we're chain agnostic. We're not tied to any specific chain. We can expand this and have multiple payment options. And there you go. You can put your details in and you can confirm and book. So that's kind of what we've created. That's the hard part. And I've talked about this in the past. I'll show you my back end. In the 3 years that I've been hosting with D-Travel, I've completed to date 36 bookings and $66,796 worth of realized earnings through the D-Travel platform on my properties in London. And so I've proven that it works. I've shown that actually you can make money and give a good experience and get return bookings without Airbnbbooking.com using your own website. And I'm not paying for this on D-Travel. Okay. And so I've proven that model. And that being said, despite proving that model, we still haven't seen the exponential growth that we want to see, where people are now flooding to D-Travel, flooding away from escaping from the other platforms. We're seeing steady growth. That's because you have there's a few savvy people out there who understand and they want something better and they want to have more control. But the reality is that most, or if not the majority of people, are still scared of doing it themselves, or there's too much comfort with someone like Airbnb managing it, managing the payments, managing the communication. And also Airbnb have done a really good job in bringing travelers. They've done that, okay, because they were first to market, and so they have the lion's share. It's not really marketing, was it? It was Airbnb grew organically because it was an empty market. They were first to market. So that's the challenge. The challenge is, how do you get people across from Airbnb booking and the other platforms to de-travel? And it's obvious that just by being cheaper or giving discounts isn't enough. That was clear as day. And that's what this is about. That's what the new chapter is about. The new chapter is about creating something that hasn't been seen before and incentivizing people so that TRVL becomes the loyalty asset, the coordination asset on this open rewards layer. It's about creating something that doesn't exist in travel, okay? It's not about creating a new protocol or whatever and hoping people join it. It's about actually truly incentivizing people to participate, the communities to participate, incentivizing behavior and rewarding their behavior and their participation. And it's rather than just mere transactional benefits. That's what he's talking about. And so this is a sneak peek into the future. And this is part of the future. This is part of the future that's coming, okay? He's also talked about some other things, piloting a new ownership model. And also he's talked about the future of travel not belonging to platforms. And so what you have to understand is de-travel isn't going to own the platforms. It's the people who participate in de-travel, primarily through TRVL, will be the owners of the future. And that will also be the rewards layer that we're talking about. And so he's kind of explained it, but not so much. And that's okay, because he's also said that there's more to come, doesn't he? He says in the next few weeks, there's going to be we'll be revealing the first pieces of this future. And this is what we're anticipating, the revelation, the unveiling of the vision of this new leadership that I've been talking about in de-travel. Okay, so what we should do is, I feel like we need to give Eric a chance to describe his vision and to start to implement his vision. And then if you go to de-travel, you go to the X page, you can have a look. Excuse me. See there, they've posted the new chapter. I can actually retweet that now. This is where we're getting kind of the reveals. You see, actually, it came out on the blog post first, I think. And then November 17th, they posted that. And let me have a look at the comments here. I haven't looked at them. Insightful. So Planet has talked about it. Tony says, from the Spanish community, says, hey, Eric, I like the initiative because it gives both owners and travelers the opportunity to create relationships that go beyond a simple transaction. My question is, can these payments be made with Sable? Absolutely, they can. USDT. Yep. Or USDC. Excellent new chapter. I think it's an excellent option for rent payments right now at DevConnect. Many establishments only accept cash and credit cards here in Argentina, so this solution would have been incredible at this time. Pretty interesting, the future of transactions. Knox says, love the update, Eric, and an amazing step for de-travel. The open rewards layer section in particular was a great read to read. On our own podcast, we talk about this almost every episode, how people don't realize how different rewards platforms and loyalty platforms really are. Happy to support. Andy says, such a great new chapter. As you say, the key is give value of what people create. I would like to use this as soon as when it's ready. Let's go. So we're starting to pick up a little bit of support, a little bit of excitement about the future, the changes that we've been talking about, the new chapter. So we're no longer talking about Airbnb killer. We're talking about something much bigger. And the idea is to make TRVL central to the future that we're creating. So let's go and have a look at TRVL. So when you go to the website, let me go to the website. You can go into TRVL and have a look. And I think what you'll notice is that some changes, some updates have happened. So if you go to learn, click on about, you'll see how here now they've updated the leadership team finally. So that's exciting. So now this is up to date. You see that? And I don't know if this is up to date yet, but still this is all being updated. And so when you go to the token, this still reflects the old tokenomics and the old vision. So this is all being updated. And as the updates are released over the next few weeks, you're going to start seeing some changes to the website. And that will reflect the future that's being created. And so right now you go to the website and you're thinking, wait a minute, nothing's changed. But just bear with them, bear with them. Everything here is going to change. Just like I've shown you, the about has changed. And this is all starting to change, okay? So you could say, well, we should change it all at once. But remember, we're a small startup. We don't have like thousands of people working. You know, it's a small group of people. And the reason why is to keep costs low. Yeah, because that's the whole point of decentralized. It's to make sure that the value is passed on to the communities and the travelers and the hosts, and not to suck out the life from the people that contribute. So, but they're working flat out. They're working flat out, and then they are looking to grow and to expand that. But unfortunately, despite everything, what's happened to the token? So the announcement's only just been made, basically last week. And last week, if you look at the charts here, we had the most volume in a week's period last week, a big sell-off, okay? And it's crazy because if you look at how the price dropped from here to here, look at the volume. The volume is relatively low. And look how much the price dropped. The price with that relatively low volume, the price dropped like 87%. And now we've had like these last 2 weeks have had crazy volume. And you see the price hasn't really dropped that much. It's dropped 41%, which is a lot. But relatively speaking, it's not that much. And so you think this is bearish, but it's not. It's actually really bullish. There is decreasing prices and increasing volume, but at the same time, the buying is also happening. It's like the volume is coming in, but it's not pushing the price down. It's like there's a crazy selling going on, but the price is being bought back. It's being bought back. Now, the way the price is being bought is not with market buying. The price is being absorbed. That's what I'm seeing right now. Massive absorption is happening on a higher time frame. Okay? Massive. And there was some bearish divergence on the MACD, and now we're starting to clear the divergences because we put in lower prices and the MACD hasn't gone down. And you see in the CCI, we've cleared these lows now. We've finally cleared the bearish divergences, and we're into crazy oversold territory. The last time the CCI was in crazy oversold was, look at it, it was here. It was here, and that kind of bottomed. That was the last time there. It was the bottom. That was the last time. Look, it bottomed. There was a bottom here, a little bottom here. We're coming into that area now, aren't we? We're coming into a bottom here, right? We're in crazy oversold. We're coming into a bottom. We've cleared the bearish CVD at the top because now the price has dropped. It was clearly bearish because the MACD was going up, but the price is starting to drop. And now we're starting to see real heavy volume. Okay, so it looks like this is going to zero, but actually I feel like the bottom was trying to form here, what we're experiencing is a lot of people panic selling because they feel like the bear market has started. Okay. But when you're looking at this project with all the changes that are about to happen, and then when you go to Coin Gecko, you have a look at the market cap, $1.5 million. I mean, what a joke. Yeah. The market cap, I mean, this is a real joke. Huh? People are like, it doesn't work with my brain. The divergence between the market cap, and we've actually processed $1.4 million worth of transactions, and our market cap, it's about the same as the market cap right now. Fully diluted 3.3, and we're talking about an extremely undervalued project right now. The trading volume is really good. You see that? You see the trading volume? 500,000 per day. So we're getting really good volume. Okay. Is this a buy? I'm not financial advice. Yeah. I mean, I think you should do more research. I think there are ways to accumulate, and it's always a good idea to, if you're interested, to dollar cost average. That's the right way. But we're coming to really low prices now on DTRVL and TRVL. And what Eric is saying is TRVL is going to be the coordination and loyalty. That's the change. That's the big change that's happening. That's going to happen, where we are going to give TRVL real value, and it will be the way this works. It will be the way everything works. TRVL. That will be the energy of this network, and that's how much. That's what you want. You want, based on what he's saying, it's not the time to sell because you think the bear market started and this is the same as always. This is the time to pick up some TRVL. This is the time. Yeah. I'm giving you insight into the future based on what Eric has posted, and it's a continuation of what I've said in the past. This is a crazy sell-off. There's no analysis here. This is just beyond crazy. Yeah. And I can't tell people what happens next. Yeah. I think if you have TRVL and you're selling, that's a massive mistake because you're selling at loss. Yeah. And if you don't have TRVL, then this is a good opportunity to pick some up. Yeah. And to have a proper strategy to accumulate, to catch the lows, because we are in low territory now, oversold low territory. You get some bullish divergences here. We're in oversold territory. I'm just looking at all these indicators. Now, the question is what happens next? Just because we're at the lows doesn't mean it can't go up to make a lower high and keep on going down. This is the thing. This could be the low. It could go up to put a lower high and it could keep on doing that, huh? And that's people's greatest fear, isn't it? This isn't the absolute bottom. It could keep on going down. It's always possible, okay? But at the same time, what we're starting to see is a lot of interest pick up, especially since Eric posted this. He's posted this on DTRVL. He's posted this on LinkedIn. A lot of investors are now starting to look at this and go, wait a minute, this is really cheap. And these people are fighting back. Maybe some people are looking at historically and they're thinking this is a dead coin. This has just been a crazy sell-off. There's no value here. But put the past aside. What we have to look at now is the new leadership since July. The way I'm looking at this chart is like that, basically, when the new leadership came into play. And actually, it's only just been announced. And so really, that's the kind of chart you're looking at. That kind of coincides with Bitcoin. And so right now, what we're experiencing across all altcoins is a crazy sell-off because of Bitcoin. And naturally, with these projects, these are small real-world projects. This is the opportunity to accumulate because these are the projects that are more resilient because they reflect real-world value and it's a real-world business. And with the changes that are happening, what we're hoping and we're predicting is explosive growth here on this token. Explosive demand. That's what we're expecting and predicting. So I'm just giving you insight that this could be the opportunity of a lifetime to accumulate some. If you want to go all in, I mean, it's not going to take much. There's lots of millionaires out there. Yeah, it's not going to take much for a millionaire or someone with a large amount of money to come alongside and say, hey, I want to buy $1 million worth of TRVL. They could buy up the whole token supply just like that. They could do that. There's a lot of people out there who could do that. And so just watch this space. Don't panic sell thinking that this is the end of the project. This is actually the beginning, the new chapter, the new beginning. We're not going anywhere. We've been around for almost 4 years now. And we're about to make a new, this is the transition to the next part of the future. I'll just quickly have a look at Telegram. There's no technical analysis here. I'm just going over that post by Eric. Go onto Telegram. That's where you're going to find a lot of information. I apologize, I haven't posted or I haven't streamed. I'm back to stream. There's lots of comments here, and feel free to go in and have a look. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it seems to be some good feedback. This guy, Kitty Common, is talking about an endorsement from President Nayib Bukele. Who knows? Why not? Let's do it. Let's get an endorsement. Even better, let's get a crazy partnership. Excuse me. Have a look. Go into our channel, have a look. New booking sites activated, new booking sites, some whale buys, new bookings process. You can have a look there. You can see that there's activity on our channels in Telegram. New bookings, new bookings. You see it's active. We're active. We're doing new bookings. Our network is working. Our business is working. It's only a matter of time before this explodes. And with the changes that are coming, I know a summary of the changes, but it's not for me to announce them. I'm just saying they're coming. Just like I told you, there's a new CEO. Just like I told you that the tokenomics is changing. Just like I told you that El Salvador is on the map, and now you're starting to see it. And now I'm telling you that everything is changing. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you some. I wanted to show you my trip from from the Amazon. Let me do that. I'm going to go to my Instagram. My Instagram is actually private, but I've got a Putumayo. Is that loading? Can you see that? There you go. I'll go through my pictures. That's me on the plane. That's in Bogota. The streets of Bogota is lovely, yeah. Really, this is Halloween, actually. I was there Halloween. I don't think the sound, you can hear anything. Oh, that's because there's a mute. You can hear the vibe, can't you? Really nice, sir. Really good vibe. That's me, my friends. He's actually the shaman of the ayahuasca. This is our restaurant. That was during the night time. It's beautiful, though. That's Bogota. No, that's me. This is quite funny. Look at this. How funny is that? So we're just hanging out in Bogota. We went to an Irish pub. This is during the day. That's during the night time. Okay, this is when we're catching the plane. It was like a local flight, Satena. Oops. That's on the plane. It's one of these propeller jets, propeller planes. Look at that. Pretty awesome. This is getting off the plane. This is the airport. Look at it. Like one plane on the airport, no buildings, or maybe one small building. It's like from one of these movies. Okay, we made it. Woo! Yeah, we made it, yeah? We made it, yeah! We made it! Look how happy these kids are. Made it to the jungle. That's where we were, Puerto Leguizamo. You see, is on the border of Peru. There's me having breakfast. That's my breakfast. Vegan breakfast. That's platano, avocado, and tomatoes. That's all I can eat. That's just me hanging out with. This is the boat that we went on with the group. You see, I'm wearing the D-Travel hat. Okay, we've departed. We've left. Everyone has got their cameras out. That's Peru on the other side. Can you see any crocodiles? Oh yeah. Exciting. That's Peru there, huh? One on the left, and then. Oh no, that's not Peru. We're going actually north. We've come off onto a subsidiary. That's the sky. We're in the jungle now. That's the sky at night. That's a local village. This is like literally in the Amazon. Look, that's what it looks like. Okay, this is the experience that I was having. This is actually cooking and create the ayahuasca drink, and this is the ayahuasca plant. So you have to kind of scrape it first of its bark. That's what we were doing. It was fun. And this is the local medicine woman who's leading the way. That's the pot that it went in. Look at that. And that's it cooking there. We were cooking it. And then they're using wood as the fire, as the fuel to power it. It rained a lot here in the Amazon. It was raining like crazy. That's the ayahuasca. Look at that. That's the night time. This is when we're leaving. We were there for 3 nights, and then we left in the early hours. It was really, I don't think scary is the right word, but exciting. For me, it was really exciting. Pitch black, just the sound of the jungle. This is the boat out. Can't see anything, but actually there's like, these are really small waterways. That's the driver. This is on the river back to the town, the village. So we were deep into the Amazon, and this is just on the way back. And this is a 5-hour boat trip down the Putumayo River, and we were going really fast. I don't know how fast, probably about 80 or 90 kilometers an hour, really fast. And on that side, I think it was Ecuador. I think that's Ecuador there. And on the other side, it's Colombia. It was really an amazing trip, to be honest. Really exciting. Never done that before. That's me. If you couldn't tell. See, I'm wearing a D-Travel hat. I'm taking it everywhere. There we were. Colombia and Ecuador. Just hanging out with people from the trip. Now, this part of the trip, we were in a hotel, like a 1-star hotel, and then we went to Mallorca. That's where we had the ayahuasca ritual with the... I'm not sure if they used the ayahuasca that we made. Probably did, or probably not. I don't know. I have a clue. This was in the middle of the night. This is in the morning. that was fun. This is on the mountaintop. This is back in Bogota, so that's basically coming to the end of our trip. There's some pictures from the museum in Bogota. That was where we were in the jungle. Yeah, it's just some pictures. All right, so that was my trip. Fun. So anyway, de-travel. Everything's changing. Eric Pace is taking the lead. He's talking to investors. He's talking to hosts. He's talking to people who've left, former investors. He's talking to new people. De-travel's changing, and I think watch this space. I think it's good to just do your own research. Keep an eye on the Telegram. Keep an eye on the X page. You can keep an eye on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be streaming more often now. I'm going back to London now because it's my birthday soon, and probably spend Christmas there with my family back in London, and looking to come back to El Salvador on a more permanent venture sometime in the early part of next year, when some big things are happening in El Salvador, some really big things. The new pilot thing that we're launching is going to be in El Salvador. It's going to be first of its kind, and you will need TRVL. That's the alpha. That's the secret sauce. Yeah, TRVL is going to be key to the future, and that's what's changing. So right in all of what you've experienced in the charts, there was no point to TRVL. You could have done everything on de-travel in the last period of time, almost 4 years, without TRVL. There didn't need to be a token for what we did in de-travel. There was no real incentive. Yeah, there was no real incentive. This is the thing that people don't realize. Yeah, where is the June analytics again? I'll bring it. Have I lost it? Probably. Yeah. In everything that we built here, there was no real need for TRVL. We built this really without TRVL. The incentive program, the TRVL that we returned, wasn't a real incentive. There was no real incentive. People just sold it and moved on. That all of this work has been done without TRVL. That's why the price has dropped. Okay, and that now everything's been turned on its head, where TRVL will be essential to everything that's being built. It will be pivotal. It will be the center point of everything. TRVL. Yeah, that's how this economy is going to grow. Because once people start to see and understand and realize how valuable TRVL is, not only will they buy it, they'll want to obtain it any way possible, and that will be participating in the de-travel network. And it won't just be hosting, it will be traveling. It will be communities participating with travel experiences similar to what I described, what I've been describing here for Tamayo. That's part of the experience. So it's not, I'm not creating this. I'm just showing you that in the future, there's going to be more and more people creating. I didn't create this. Travel experiences, putting it and bringing it onto de-travel, and that will be how de-travel grows. They'll be able to do that, and TRVL will be central to how everything operates and how everything functions. And so that's kind of like the sneak peek of the future, and that you can see from the Telegram and from the X page that the excitement is starting to grow. The community is starting to rally behind Eric and the team that I've already, this is the new team that I already told you about. If you go to the About page, you can see that. And so these are one of many changes that are happening, and I could sit down and stream for hours and talk about the changes. But I think I'm going to end the stream now. There you go. That's the team. This will surely grow and expand in the future. Keep an eye on Andrea. She's in our Telegram. She's our community manager. Here's her name, Andrea Monge. And if you've got any questions, you can just go to Telegram, you can ask, and she's very good. She's very good. She's very interactive. That's her, Andrea. I don't think I can see her. Oh, there you go. There's Andrea. She's from Venezuela, actually, and so she's coming to El Salvador too. So there's going to be a massive push in El Salvador and in Central South America, and then we believe and we hope that that's going to grow like fire, like a wildfire, to the rest of the world. Okay, so if you've got any questions or anything, just come and chat. You can come ask me questions. I'll try and answer questions, but really Andrea is the one, and then Eric also interacts. He's been interacting in the Telegram channel too. So if you scroll up, you'll see that out here. This is Eric. See that, Eric? This is James. So maximum participation, maximum interaction is appreciated. If you like this video, if you feel like it, give me a like, give me a share, give me a comment, and then I'll do a stream on Friday, this coming Friday, and then we'll just continue doing it, weekly updates as I was before, while I'm back to London and back in London. And we are exploring the connection between travel and wellness, and so part of the reason why I'm traveling and going on these experiences is so that we understand the experiences, but also we can build D-Travel to serve the local communities which create these experiences, and to create the connection between decentralized travel, the experiences which people want to go on, which are directly connected to wellness, and how we can make TRVL central to this whole ecosystem, and how the ecosystem will function with TRVL at the center of that. That's kind of the path we're on right now, and hopefully we're gonna have some big updates for you guys soon. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you on Friday. Someone asked for a TRVL price prediction this cycle. What the? All right. Honestly, who knows? But all-time high. Like what the hell? Like why not? Like I still don't, like, just because we're at all-time lows. Yeah. All-time high. What is the all-time high? 1.56. Not that one. Which one is it? It was MEXC. MEXC is the right chart for all-time high. Up there. Is it going to get to the all-time high? I don't know, but I'm in it for the long haul. I'm accumulating, you know, like I'm picking more up. I'm not selling, I'm buying. I've talked about this before in the past. When you look at the chart on MEXC about a possible WXY on the higher time frame. Let me just have a look at that now. Yeah, 1-to-1 takes us all the way down to 1/10 of a cent. I think it's highly unlikely to hit that level, but it stopped at the 1.618 and then we flipped it. We kind of need to get back above 1/8 of a cent. That's going to be a real sign of strength, getting back above this level here. That's going to be like the first big sign of strength, to get back above there. And obviously getting back above the value area low would be really important too. Let's just do an update on the volume as well. I mean, we're at the value area low. Look at the volume that's coming. We're getting really strong volume here. So that's what you want to see, volume at the lows. But we're not in like market buying season yet, and that's kind of why the price isn't going up. It's just being absorbed. What else? It was that time fractal that I was talking about. Fib base time. A major time pivot coming on the second week of December. Yeah? Second to third week of December. That's a major time pivot on this token. I think probably with the way the price is descending, I think probably that's when we're going to bottom out, probably the second or third week of December. Yeah, and the way it bottoms, it doesn't have to bottom then. Whatever, if it goes up, it could bottom like that, you know. Then the whole thing becomes a bottom, but that's kind of a major fib time pivot. And then the next one after that will be a March. And so maybe we pivot there and then we rally all the way up to there, something like that. Do we get to all-time highs in one go? Probably not. But with a project like this, I'm actually targeting to all-time highs. That's how you make your money. You can trade and make money, but you have to know how to trade. And if you can't trade, then you shouldn't be buying and selling. You should just be accumulating, higher time frame accumulation, and then your exit or your big payday in the future is all-time high. Not financial advice, but that's how you win. Yeah, you accumulate the dips, you hold, you hodl, you hodl, you hodl. You don't care about the price, you care about the accumulation of the token. And when you get to all-time highs, you take your profit. You've made your money. And so this makes all of this worthwhile. All of this becomes irrelevant when the price hits all-time high and you take your profit, but then you have to take your profit. Okay, and that's your target, 1.56. People might think I'm crazy, but that's how it's done. That's how people make money. And then everything in and in between is just trading. If you're trading, you have to know how to trade. If you can't trade or you're not confident to trade, then don't trade. Accumulate, 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 accumulate. With so many holders of this token, how do I get that information? Somewhere here. Look, the market cap's so low. Yeah. It says 8,900 added to portfolio. If you go to coin market cap, have a look at TRVL. Oh, what is this rubbish? Does that work? No. Maybe that one. Holders, 32,000 holders and only a 1.5 million market cap. How crazy is that? Like, I don't know what to say. No comment. It's just ridiculous. And sometimes crypto can be ridiculous to the downside and to the upside. And it's just literally the worst place, the worst time to sell, because we're coming into a major time pivot. It's obvious that the pivot's going to be here. And then we're looking for an explosive move to the upside. What's the price target? I don't know. I mean, I think there's good places that people can take profit on the way up. But the reality is, because I know what's coming, because I know that the future is decentralized travel, I'm just going to be buying until all-time highs. Yeah, and that's the strategy that I will be using. You think I'm crazy, but why not? That's the whole of D-Travel are on that track. Everyone who is involved in D-Travel are on that track. They're on that track to take the price to all-time highs. Yeah. All right. I love you and leave you. See you next time.